What convinced you to sanction these two Israeli ministers now?
Australia is a supporter of a two-state solution, and the reason consecutive Australian governments have supported two states is we believe that is the best way to assure peace and security for both Palestinians and for Israelis. These two ministers have been the most extremist and hardline of an extremist settler enterprise, which is both unlawful and violent. The most important thing to note, though, James, is that we are acting with others. You've heard me speak about the fact that Australia can't shift the dial on the Middle East by ourselves. What we can do is act with others, and that's what we've done. And these sanctions have been imposed in concert with the United Kingdom, with New Zealand, with Canada and with Norway.
Can you just tell us, I mean, these are very targeted individual sanctions. What do they actually mean for these two men?
Oh, look, it means that they won't be able to travel to Australia, and if there are any assets held in Australia, they will be frozen, and people won't be able to provide them with financial support. But obviously, it is the statement that is being made that is as important as the effect of the sanctions. And I think the fact that the countries who have imposed these sanctions are countries who have historical relationships with the state of Israel does demonstrate the level of concern we have about what is occurring.
These two men have agitated for continuing fighting in Gaza. These sanctions specifically refer to the West Bank. Just taking you to some of the comments from these individuals, Mr. Smotrich said that he didn't want a grain of wheat to enter Gaza. Did their comments about Gaza also influence your decision to impose these sanctions?
Obviously, we make the decisions on the legal basis that we make them, and the statement of case is very clearly in relation to their actions on the West Bank. But obviously, two states is something we have been advocating for many years, for decades. I would make the point about Gaza. We have made very clear statements, again, with others about what is occurring in Gaza. It is catastrophic. We've seen the Israeli government prevent aid going in for a very substantial period of time. We know what that has meant in terms of the humanitarian situation, what it's meant for kids, children in Gaza. We will continue to be part of the international call for aid to enter unhindered, unimpeded. That is Israel's obligation. We will continue to advocate for a ceasefire and the return of hostages, and we will continue to condemn Hamas and its terrorist ideology.
About 40 minutes or so ago, the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio put out a statement condemning these sanctions. What's your reaction to that from the US?
Obviously, through the history of our alliance, we have had differences of approach, differences of opinion, but we remain aligned in many areas of strategic objective and interest, and that will continue.
OK. Just staying in the United States, Donald Trump's doubled down on deploying the National Guard, Marines as well, to Los Angeles. We've seen two members of the Australian media now hit with rubber bullets or something similar. What is your advice to Australians who might be living in Los Angeles or considering travelling there?
Well, first, I would say we believe in a free media. Australia believes in free media, and we believe journalists should be allowed to do their jobs safely. So that's a very clear message that we will consistently send to all across the world, including authorities in the United States. And we've raised our concerns about the incident that the Prime Minister referenced yesterday of the Nine reporter who was hit with a rubber bullet. Very concerning, and we look forward to the outcomes of an independent investigation. But more broadly, I would say to Australians in the United States, please avoid protests. Please continue to listen to what the authorities are telling you in terms of where it is safe to go, and please stay safe.
Just before I let you go, Minister, we've been covering Aboriginal deaths in custody on this program over the past couple of weeks. So one of your MPs, Marion Scrimgeour, was speaking with Bridget on Monday. She said that the federal government has taken its eye off the ball on this issue. Does the Albanese government plan on taking a national leadership role in this space?
Well, first, can I extend again my condolences and sympathy to the families who have lost people in custody, those deaths I know have been tragic, and there are continue to be too many First Nations people incarcerated, too many deaths in custody. The government has invested in what we call justice reinvestment, that is community-led programs to try and avoid incarceration, but to have outcomes towards justice. So this is important. I know that Marion is a very an incredibly good local member, and I know how distressed she is about what her community is experiencing. I also know that Senator McCarthy is an outstanding minister who will really look at this issue. It is an issue which has been challenging for governments and authorities and for communities for decades, and we know that from the years since the Royal Commission, but we'll continue to work with communities on community-led solutions.
Could there be a national cabinet? Could there be even a review, as I think Marion Scrimgeour suggested, into the recommendations that haven't been implemented in the decade since that Royal Commission?
Look, I'll leave that to my colleague, the Minister for Indigenous Affairs, Senator McCarthy. But I would say what we do need to ensure is that there is community-led justice reinvestment as a key part of any response.